Hello and welcome to Go Getter Geeks. I am Aditya Solge, and in this video I am going to show what are annotations in Java and how they work. Annotations in Java are a way of providing additional information about the code. Let's understand this with an example. Here we have a model class student which contains one print method. Next, we have a college student class which extends our student class. Now, this college student class actually intend to override print method, but because of a spelling mistake, we can see it is not effectively overriding the print method. Because of that, we can see it is outputting a student, which means it is executing the print method of a student class. To avoid such mistakes, Java provides @override annotation. As soon as you annotate a method with @override, Java compiler makes sure during compilation time that the method which is annotated with @override is effectively overriding a method. Since in this case, the print method is not getting overridden, so during compilation only we are getting this error which says method does not override or implement a method from a super type. Similarly, Java provides multiple built-in annotations for various use cases. Some examples are @deprecated and @test annotation. @deprecated signals to user of the class or method that the author has designated the class or method for removal in the future versions. Consequently, such method or class should not be used to avoid potential issues in the future. @test annotation designates a method of a class as a test case and notifies the testing framework about its presence during the build process. There are numerous other built-in annotations available, and I won't go into details of each of them, as our main purpose here is to create our own annotations and give them meaningful purpose. If you are interested in a comprehensive exploration of the built-in annotations, please feel free to comment down below. So, how can you create a custom annotation? Whenever you declare something with @interface keyword, Java consider it as an annotation, similar to how you declare a class or an interface. You can also declare methods within the annotation, which then becomes the parameter that you can request from the user of the annotation. Consider this example of an annotation. Here, we optionally ask user to specify the name of the test. It's optional because we specify the default value. We can later use the name of the test to specify on the UI whenever a method with @test annotation is executed. This feature enables user to quickly identify which tests have failed and which ones succeeded. You have the choice of not specifying any methods in the annotation or specifying as many methods as you desire. When an annotation doesn't contain any method, it is known as a marker annotation. For example, @override is a marker annotation. And it makes sense also because the evaluator possesses all the necessary information to proceed. With this information in mind, we can regard the methods declared in an annotation as similar to a variable that we utilize in our Java program. These methods must possess a data type or return type, can have default values, cannot throw exceptions, and are capable of accepting parameters. You must also specify where the user of your annotation can employ the annotation. For example, at a class level, enum level, method level, or field level. To achieve this, you can use the Java provided annotation known as @target. @target annotation takes in a enum value of element type, which can take the following values. As the author of your annotation, it is your responsibility to choose the target based on your use case. You can also determine when the annotation should be evaluated. Java provides a way to specify this using another built-in annotation known as @retention. It takes in a enum value of retention policy, which can have the following values. And that's all about creating a custom annotation. Let's move on to the next step, evaluating the annotations. Since the project we are going to work on require evaluation at the compile time, I'm going to dive into source retention annotation in detail. If you would like me to cover the other two retention policy in detail, please comment down below. To evaluate a source annotation, you will need to create a processor. A processor is essentially a class which inherits from the abstract processor class. When you create a processor class, you must indicate which annotations the processor is capable of processing and the source version that the processor supports. You can achieve this by using two annotations, @annotation types and @source version. Once you have both the custom annotation and processor prepared, you must register this with the Java compiler. Upon doing so, your processor will be executed by the compiler during the build process. And that is because the annotation that we created follows the source retention policy. To accomplish this, you can compile your code using -p flag. For example, you can use a command which is similar to the one displayed on the screen. I will illustrate this process in detail in the next video. So that's it for this video. If you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel and sharing the video with your fellow coders. Stay tuned for the next video. Thank you.